What's up, traders? Anthony Crudele here, and welcome to the 50th episode of Develop Your Edge. In today's show, I'm going to go over what I believe is the most important edge we need as traders. But before we get into that, let me take you to this week's Ninja Trader Charting Edge. All right, pulled up Ethereum here on the daily. I actually tweeted about this past week. Sitting around, not a lot going on in the markets, wasn't doing a ton of trading, and what I like to do is just sit back and see if maybe I can learn something about one of the markets that I'm trading. Had the Ethereum chart on. As you know, I've talked about this a lot. I'm long Ethereum. And I wanted to go back and just look to see if there was anything I could pick up on what Ethereum has been doing so far this year. And I found something very interesting. If you go back to the beginning of 2021, I took my time boxes to see how many bars in a daily it was before, when we went from a new high here, started to have a little bit of a sell-off, and then really up before the sell-off came. And what I found was pretty interesting. It was exactly 40 bars. Then I took from here to there after that high, up until a new high, another 40 bars. I was like, wow, that's pretty interesting. 40 bars of a rally, 40 bars of a consolidation before a new high. And then after that, how long until a new high again? 40 bars. 40 days. Now, here we are. Is it going to be 40 bars before a new high is made? Who knows? Maybe. I thought it was interesting because you're really just seeing a cycle, right? Ethereum so far is on a 40-day cycle. 40 days of new highs, 40 days of consolidation, 40 days of a new high, possibly 40 days of consolidation before maybe 40 days of new highs again. That would come in at June 22nd. This is not something that I would use as a strategy, but I like to see rotation. It confirms to me really if the momentum is still going to be there. So I now think that June 22nd, it's pretty important. It's not super important on the overall big picture, but it's important to me to say, did it make a new high by then? Can it? If it doesn't, does it go 80 days? What's the new rotation? And like I said, this is not a strategy signal for me, but I learned something about Ethereum. 40 days of new highs, 40 days of consolidation, 40 days of a new high. We're in consolidation, and let's see what happens next. Once again, it's not always about getting a strategy signal. It's just about learning a little bit about your market, and you come across something like this that, you know what, I'm going to mark on my calendar, June 22nd. Did we make a new high or not? Is this rotation broken? And if it is not broken, then maybe it's 40 days of new highs. Who knows? I'll be tuning in. And that's this week's Ninja Trader Charting Edge. Now, episode 50. Why did I start Develop Your Edge? Well, I started Develop Your Edge because each and every week I go through a process to see what edge I have in the market. What is an edge? A trading edge is an advantage we have over other market participants. We talk about statistical edge on the show. We talk about mental edge. I've talked to a bunch of guests that share with us what their edge is in trading. And we're all constantly working on that development. That's why I call the show Develop Your Edge, because once we develop an edge, doesn't mean it's going to last forever. It's a constant work in progress. It's a constant development of our edge. And at the beginning of the show, I said, I'm going to share with you what I believe is the most important edge that we as traders need to have. And I believe that the most important edge that we need to have as traders is recognizing what our edge is and then executing it. Seems simple, right? We spend all this time working on our edge, statistical or mental. And together, we need to have both of those working, right? In order to have a true edge in the market. But what really separates the great traders from everybody else, an advantage we have over other market participants, is what? Is that great traders take advantage of situations, and they take as much out of that situation as they can. That, to me, in my experience, that's true edge. I look back at my career, I look back at these 50 shows, and I think to myself, each and every week, what I'm working on in developing my edge, what it all comes down to is recognizing and executing. So I leave you with this after the 50th episode. Work as hard as you want on statistical and mental. But remember, it comes down to recognizing in the moment what your edge is and executing it, taking as much as you can from the market. That to me is true edge. Hang tight, I'll be right back with my final thoughts.
24/7 access to diverse global markets. Right here. That's why I added stock index futures to my trading strategy. Now when I see ups and downs coming, I'm ready. Well played.
Final thoughts for today, traders. Remember, we can work as hard as we want on statistical or mental edge. But true edge really comes down to executing in the moments, recognizing our edge is present and taking advantage of the market right then and there. That to me is true edge. This past week, I put a tweet out. Some days trading is really hard, and other days things just work seamlessly. Don't fight it either way. When it's hard, step back. When it's easy, don't be afraid to take, and to take a lot. Don't be afraid to win bigger than you have in the past. Don't fight it, embrace it. This ties in a lot about what I believe is the most important edge we need to have as traders. Recognizing moments. It goes for the good and the bad. When I'm not trading well, my mental edge is off a little bit, I'm not seeing good signs with my statistical edge, step back. But when things are lined up, I'm feeling sharp, mentally strong. My statistical edge is right there in front of me. Everything I want to see happening in the market is working. I, as a trader, my job is to take as much as I can. I think a lot of traders struggle to take more than what they're used to winning because there's this mental block of, hey, I've reached my daily amount, or this is a good number for me. I felt the same way. But in order to truly grow as a trader, to get bigger, and to get better, you have to take more when the situation presents itself. That to me has helped me go from, let's call it, paying the bills to becoming a trader that does this full time for a living and continues to grow my wealth as a trader. I think this is extremely important. When things are good, take. When they're not, step back. Now, big month for futures traders. I've talked about this a lot. Comments keep coming in. CME Group is launching micro crude oil futures. Ticker symbol MCL. They're coming in July. To learn more about micro WTI crude oil futures, go to activetrader.cmegroup.com. Remember, everybody, if you're enjoying the show, click that subscribe button. You could also leave me any questions or comments down below, or DM me on Twitter. My DMs are open. And don't forget to check out Instagram. I'm now putting clips of each of this show and the Futures Radio Show podcast on Instagram. You can check that out at Anthony C. Crudele. That's a wrap for today. See you next week.